love it. All sports, double coverage.
What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to Double Coverage. Hope you're still living, loving, and breathing for on time with the great man, Saucy. What's happening? It was a bit of a stuff up or you that time. I like it. I didn't fumble.
That's right.
You dropped the bag there. Just all over the place. I love it. Oh, big show. A lot happening, Sauce.
There is a lot happening.
It's been a shit week for you. It's been a shit week for you.
Yeah, you can only keep me down for a little bit. I was upset this morning, but
you were upset on Sunday. You're upset this morning. But we'll get to it. We will get to it. We've got a bit on the card. We're going to start with the World Game football. We will briefly touch on the NBA today. There's not going to be much happening. I might have an apology for a player, Sauce. I actually have an apology. You know what it's like on this show?
Oh, wow.
You know what it's like when we talk and we give our takes, but when we fuck up, we hold ourselves accountable every single time. So I've got an apology for someone. Unless his name's Lionel Messi, you don't get any apology. Simple as that. That's the rules on this show.
Classic. Of course.
All right. Of course. Yeah. Let's get into the EPL, Sauce. I'll run through the results and then we'll obviously hit it off with this morning's game. But the round 23 games. We had West Ham and Chelsea drawing 1-1. Chelsea are in a world of pain at the moment. They're genuinely shit house. Like, straight up. They are no good.
They struggled in the Champions League too.
Yeah, Champions League as well. They're just really battling. Wolves 2-1 winners over Southampton. Leicester over Tottenham 4-1. Fulham defeated Nottingham 2-0. 1-1 Palace versus Brighton. Arsenal and Brentford 1-1. Bit of controversy there with the VAR. We'll get to that in a second, Source. Bournemouth, Newcastle 1-1. My boys bounced back after playing Leeds twice in 4 days. They drew 2-2 the first time, but defeated them 2-0. It was more like United. This is what we should have done 4 days earlier. Villa lose to City 3-1, and Liverpool win the Merseyside derby 2-0. Then this morning, Sauce, after that 1-1 draw to Brentford and that City 3-1 win over Villa, Arsenal versus Manchester City. Winner stays on top. Well, winner in Arsenal stays on top. Loser in Arsenal, they drop to second. Man City get the job done here, 3-1. I didn't catch this. You did catch this, and I'm going to throw it to you because as the title suggests, Arsenal is now in the danger zone, and it's quite concerning. Very concerning. Saucy.
Yep, no win in our last 3. Some severe cracks in the Arsenal shield, must I say. And I knew there was going to be a bit of a rough patch. It was just a matter of how we managed it. And I just feel like, moments in games that we're not taking, today, Nketiah gets a chance, edge of the 6-yard box, very good chance early on in the game. Headers it wide. There's a chance when you get those type of chances. They're the chances that you need to take. And then gifting them a goal with Tomiyasu, messing up with a back pass to the keeper. It's just you can't make these type of errors when you're playing against the quality side of Manchester City. And then now we can go back to the kinks in the armor that came out in the Everton game. When Everton, got Sean Dyche in and beat us. And, I came on the pod after that game, Dom, and I said, sometimes you just have to realize when you just got to play for a draw. And we tried to, we tried to push on and play our game. But I think there needs to be at times we need to sit in and just defend and just maybe park the bus a little bit and just, try not to play out all the time. It's first half against City, we were able to play out all the time and we're getting out. But second half, they made some adjustments, as you do when you go into the sheds at halftime, and they were able to get more deflections, more little closing down tackles on us in our own half as we're trying to play out. And then that caused pressure. And those, those nearly moments that they got, They nearly closed us down. Eventually, that caused that enough pressure, and they were able to cause some mistakes, and then they were able to punish us on the counter attack. And look, we gifted them that goal, the first goal. The second goal, I'm just trying to remember what it was, but I know the third goal.
Grealish was the second one.
Yeah, and that Grealish one there, that was a bad pass by Gabriel. He should have just either passed it back to the goalkeeper or just cleared it. Another one that I just think you probably should have just cleared it out of bounds. You reset. It's 1-1. Don't make the mistake. This is what I'm trying to say. Sometimes you need to understand it's 1-1. It's okay to get a draw against City at home. Like, it's okay. Like, and we try to want to go and win the game. I understand that. But I think there needs to be a bit more better management. And I feel like that could be not coming from the coach. I don't know.
They had their least amount of possession ever with Guardiola as their manager, City, against you this morning at 36%, and they still found a way to beat you 3-1.
Yeah. This is
the least amount of possession ever, Source.
You don't have to have all the possession, and we're finding it tough to sort of break them down. Well, maybe we do sit in and try get them on the counter attack. We got pace going the other way. Maybe we try something different for 10 minutes in the game instead of just trying to always possess, and play that football. And it feels like that. Guardiola and City adjusted better, and this is the danger, Doma. The danger is, we've seen City if they get onto these runs, they can win 6, 7, 8 games in a row. And then it just takes Arsenal to falter in another 2-3 games. And let's be honest, Domo, if they go and win seven games in a row, it's most likely the titles race is done, right? So Arsenal has to be back into the title race. We've still got a game in hand. We have to win this week against Villa. We have to win our next 2 games, and they're both away to show that we are title contenders. And they're both away against Villa and against Leicester. So both more than winnable games, but Villa have been playing very some okay games. Football. But we have to show that. You remember, Doma? I gave it a bit I was worried when Gabriel Jesus went down, and Eddie Nketiah came out after the World Cup break and was able to hold the fort for a bit. And I was said, look, he's doing well at the moment, but I don't know. I'm still not confident. I feel like he's unfortunately he's proven
he's a good young player. Source. He's a great young player. Mate, I was on the verge of giving Roy Keane. Well, we haven't got a Le Mans for today, but unless you got one, you're going to surprise me. But I was on the verge of giving Roy Keane a Le Mans because he's the guy that said a month ago when Nketiah scored against United, a header, mind you, which you missed this morning.
Missed too.
You bury him against us. But, a month ago, Roy Keane saying this guy's good enough to start for Real Madrid. Now, Roy Keane, shut the fuck up. Sorry. I love you to death. You're a legend of Man United. But, he's good enough talent to probably be at Real Madrid, but starting at Real Madrid? Are you smoking crack? Seriously?
Remember the guys they got there, yeah.
Come on, man. We're having a laugh. We're actually having a laugh. That's a stupid comparison. I just think Arsenal... I don't know, Source. I don't know. Is it direct correlation with some of the players you've brought into the club since the transfer window? It hasn't gelled with Jorginho, Trossard, the Polish guy with his booty shaking misses. I forget his name. Pure, whatever his name is.
He hasn't really played.
He hasn't played. But, you've picked up a few of these guys, and maybe they're not having fit properly into your system. Straight away, it's going to take a bit of time.
Trossard's been okay in the games he's played. Jorginho today played really well, and in my opinion, was one of Arsenal's best players today. But it's the existing guys we got there just making crucial mistakes. I mean, Tomiyasu with that mistake, Gabriel with the mistake, and in the third goal, we had
Haaland.
Gave away the ball. They passed it. Gave away the ball, right? And you see when he gives away that ball, Jorginho turns and goes, come across to Saliba, come across, and to come pick up Haaland. because Jorginho had to go pressure the ball. Saliba just drops off to the back post where Tomiyasu's already there and leaves Haaland wide open for the cutback. And obviously, we've seen what happened. One touch, finish, bottom corner, right foot. Great finish.
Last guy ever you want to leave open.
Last guy you leave open in the box. You know what I mean?
On the planet.
Schoolboy defending. But there was a wide shot because I watched the post game and everything, so they go right into the analysis. There was a wide shot. And Jorginho turns around to Saliba and is telling him, look, get across, man. Like, come on, hurry up. You got to hustle, man. Because he's there and he had to go pressure the pass, force the cutback, or else, De Bruyne could have had a shot on goal. And paid the price. It was just the errors, and even the same, it's unfortunate with the Brentford game, but, we probably got what we deserved because we didn't play very well in that game. And unfortunately, we did get screwed by VAR. I'm not sure if you caught that, Doma, but, it was offside, the goal. And, even though we got the technology, I'm pretty filthy on it that it wasn't right. It's not to say that we would have won the game. We still would have only been up 1-0 and, there's still 15 minutes to go in the game. So, Brentford could have still scored and they looked very dangerous. Don't get me wrong. I'm getting flashbacks, Doma. I'm getting flashbacks of the days where we, the long straight balls used to work against Arsenal and, teams used to, with a big striker, get a flick on and knockdowns and win the second balls and, I'm getting flashbacks. That was the days that we used to struggle, and we've done well with that stuff this season. But the kinks in the armor we're not very good at defending set pieces. We can see quite a few set piece goals, and anyone with the long straight ball. I mean, we nearly got caught by another one today where unlucky Haaland was offside, or else he was literally in off a long straight ball, and Gabriel happened to pull into ground. It was a penalty until it got. VAR actually got this one right and called it offside, and then they reversed the penalty call. So, we hang on by the skin of our teeth anyway, and that was before that they ended up kicking the goal and going up 2-1, and going on to win it. So, look, the kinks are there. City are looking dangerous, and I feel like, this is this next 6 games in the season, this next 6 to 8 games, that's it. I'm going to say next 6 games. If it's, what happens in this next 6 games could decide the whole season.
100%. I'm with you on that, Saucy. James, welcome. Great to have you stop by.
Welcome, James.
The game's coming up this week, as you said, Sauce. You've got Villa. That is the Monday. Saturday night game, 11:30. And then the 2 a.m. games on Sunday morning. Brentford Palace, Brighton, Fulham, Chelsea, Southampton, Everton, Leeds, Nottingham City, Wolves, Bournemouth, Newcastle, Liverpool. The Monday morning game is United versus Leicester at 1 a.m. Shit time. Probably watch it. And then Tottenham, West Ham at 3:30 a.m. That rounds off that week of games. And then we'll cover next week's on the pod. Sauce, we're not done yet. We'll just get to Europa. It's back tomorrow. But we'll get to Europa first. We'll get to Europa because it's the Who Cares Cup. So we've got to get to the Who Cares Cup first, and then we'll get to the
both our teams are still in it.
Yeah, well, yeah. Ajax versus Union Berlin, Barca, Man United, Salzburg, Roma, Shakhtar, Rennes, Juventus, Nantes, Leverkusen, Monaco, Sevilla, PSV, Sporting versus Midtjylland, and obviously it's a double leg. They'll play each other next week as well. We play Barca, Sauce, but I don't know if you've seen who's out of our squad. There's no Eriksen, no Sabitzer, no Anthony, no Martial, no Lisandro Martinez, and another key player. We'll see how we go against at the Camp Nou tomorrow morning. Put money on Barca. Yeah, on Barca. Well, it should, but we might surprise you. You never know. We might surprise you. We had Champions League. It was back this week. Sauce, great to have it back. I I can't believe I'm saying this, but Milan got a 1-0 win over Tottenham. We are terrible. We're not. If you didn't know, I'm an AC Milan fan in the Serie A. We suck at Champions League. We've sucked in the last few years. We've got a win over Tottenham, but that's probably a reflection of Tottenham's form at the moment. They've struggled in the Prem. They're a bit inconsistent, and they've brought that form into the Champions League. It was an away game. And of course, the big one was played in Paris. PSG losing 1-0 at home against Bayern Munich. And Pavard tried to break Messi's legs. Literally tried to. Did you see it?
No.
Mate, I'm telling you, you know how I feel about Lionel Carames, all right? It was bad. It was bad. He got sent off for it. It was not a great look. He scissored him, Sauce. He scissored him on the slide tackle, caught his right ankle. He's lucky that he was, as soon as he felt the contact, he went down, Messi, because if he got him straight up or flat-footed, he would have broken his ankle. We would have snapped it in half. He literally, are you trying to find it? He literally scissored him. It was shocking. But Messi actually played okay in this game. He struggled in the first half. He did. He had opportunities in the second half to score. But let's be honest, yeah? This is what I'm saying about Messi and Neymar and the team at PSG. They're so heavily reliant on Kylian Mbappe. It is actually ridiculous. I know these guys are talented. And you can say to me, yeah, but they dominate in Ligue 1. Yeah, that's fine, where they don't have to try. But when you have to play actually a good side in the Champions League, Source, Mbappe came off the bench and changed the game, and this guy's underdone. He almost kicked the winner. I G'd up in our group chat, and then I had to take it back because VAR put him offside. But he came on and he dominated. He almost set up the goal for Messi. He won the ball. He ripped two. Nuno Mendes was playing on the wing. He played really well. He was ripping people as well. Got it to Messi. Beats one. Beats two. Gives it to Neymar. Neymar just flicks it on to Messi. Messi left foot. Good save by who's the keeper at Bayern? Neuer? Is it Neuer? At Bayern?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Maybe he was starting. He still plays.
I think. I should actually have a look at that. Just to double check. But yeah, now the Sommer. Jan Sommer. It's Jan Sommer, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, Musiala looked okay in there for Bayern.
Musiala looked good. I've seen.
Yeah, Musiala. Yeah, he's a good player, mate. Coman looked good.
So young, man, as well.
My boy was there. He played. You know, my boys. Cancelo. João Cancelo. Played. Their team's really good. Clearly, they got Choupo-Moting up front.
Yeah, and he came out and said, and you know, he false reportings that he had a falling out with Pep. He just had an honest discussion with Pep and said, you know, like, how's my place in this team? Am I my important part of the team? And Pep was said, look, you know, probably not. And maybe going forward, you might not think. And he's said, all right, well, then I want to leave. So,
Source. I couldn't believe that. Going into the World Cup, this guy was arguably the best fullback on the planet.
I don't know what happened there. I don't know what happened. I don't know if I believe that as well. I feel like maybe it could just be a bit of, you know, cover up. But
he was arguably the best fullback on the planet. And he actually struggled for Portugal. He didn't play the greatest at the World Cup. And then he's come back and they've shipped him on.
The whole team struggled bar one game in that whole World Cup.
Exactly. Azuro, welcome. He said Messi plays centre mid apparently. Well, Messi on the team sheet is playing as a striker. So he's kicking a lot of goals by the looks of things. So we are well. Yeah, sneaky live on a Thursday. You know, Tuesday we'll be back Tuesday next week. Yes, go Saucy.
Donna, the problem is with that PSG team is what I've seen. Messi, Neymar, and Mbappe are all similar. They all have times throughout the game where they don't run back. And when you've got all three of them on the pitch.
Yeah,
and you
that-
could have
they don't
potentially
defend.
3 guys that don't run back on defense. That leaves your team short-handed, gives a lot of opportunities to the other team. And when you play against more quality opposition in the Champions League, they punish you.
Yeah,
Right?
it's Azoro's boy. You know how much he works, Azoro's boy? You know what I'm talking about? Verratti.
Verratti.
You know how much that guy works?
Yeah, I know.
He actually works like a dog, mate. When he's defending and he wins the ball, it's like, oh, now I've got to start the attack as well. Like, he works like a dog, that guy. And I'm with you, man. Neymar, Messi, and Mbappe, they haven't got a defensive bone in their body. Not one. Unless they're 3 meters away from the ball and they want to attempt it, they haven't got a defensive bone in the body. Like, they're great attacking players. Like, fantastic attacking players. But I'm with you. Like, you're pretty much 3 men short on a counter if no one's running back. So,
And I've seen
anyway,
it a bunch of times in that Bayern game too.
That got done, Source. And obviously the next leg is in March, I'm pretty sure, is the next leg for that one. And then this morning, we had Club Brugge losing 2-0 to Benfica. And Dortmund, 1-0 winners at home. Adeyemi scored, I'm pretty sure, in this one against Chelsea.
Chelsea had chances in that first half, caught a little bit of it in between watching the Arsenal game because they started half an hour apart. So, they probably could have had a goal in the first half. Chelsea didn't take their chances. And, the old saying, it's a game of 2 halves. Dortmund came out with more confidence in the second half playing at home. We're able to get a 1-0 victory. By no means is the tie over. But what I will say is, Chelsea are going to have to be better going forward. If they're going to have any chance to qualify, let alone get past Dortmund, who are playing pretty well and playing some decent football in Bundesliga at the moment. So they're more than capable of knocking Chelsea out of the Champions League.
100%. And it's good to see Sebastian Haller back, Source. Obviously, he had the chemo, he had cancer, and it's good to see him back on the park, mate. They thought he wasn't going to potentially play again. So good to see him back out there and doing what he does best, which is scoring goals. He's been scoring in the Bundesliga, which is fantastic, and good to see him make an appearance here in the Champions League. All right, Source, like I said, nothing to, I think it's the 11th of March or 4th of March or something, or 7th of March, something like that. So we'll cover it when the upcoming fixtures arrive for the Champions League. All right, we're going to move on, and we're changing up this whole show because you know how we go. There's always the bulk of our content source is usually at the start because there's a lot to talk about. We're jumping. We're going from a lot here in football, the world game, and we're going straight into the UFC. Straight in. All right, so you got to get ready. You got to do your promo. It's not in 2 segments time. It's now. We're jumping in it because it was huge, this card on Sunday.
It was, Doma. It was huge, this card. And what a UFC event it was. And this UFC segment is sponsored by Roll Clean Soap, Australia's #1 in MMA, BJJ, and martial arts hygiene. Roll Clean Soap is a proud family-run Australian business. Roll Clean is made with natural ingredients to help keep you clean on and off the mats. Don't be the smelly guy at the gym. Walk in with confidence with Roll Clean Soap and destroy the competition. Roll Clean offers a wide range of products targeted in assisting post-training recovery. Our magnesium bath salts, bath bombs, and boost balm can help ease those aches and pains after a hard training session. Roll Clean offers many soap varieties to choose from. Just visit www.rollclean.com.au or hit them up on social media. Roll Clean, we've got your back. 20% off code, double coverage for first order. Type it in, double coverage, 20% off code. Get yourself some beautiful smelling. Dom even eat some. That's how good that is.
Natural. It's our natural, man. I've got to bite it at least once.
Aussie Grappler soap.
Look at all the bite marks. Can you even see? I've got so many. I bite it every week, good. This one.
The bomb.
So, it's good. Thank you to the crew at Roll Clean. We love you.
And make sure you're getting
much.
your Roll Clean soap, double coverage, 20% code.
In your first order.
And order it because we've got the Hobby Hangout coming up soon, Doma, next month. We've got the Hobby Hangout and you do not want to smell like shit there. All right. So
I'm telling you stink like shit. We're going to tell you. Use double coverage.
We've got Roll Clean there. We're giving you a roll clean. You go into the bathroom there. You're going to wash your armpits with the roll clean, freshen
and
up.
then come out. And if you still
There you
stink like shit, which you won't after you use the roll clean, mate, you might have to do a full body wash with the roll clean soap. And if your beard stinks like shit, don't worry. They've got beard oil too, mate, to look after your beards. All right. They've got bath bombs, which I'm hoping that you went out there and bought some for Valentine's Day. Chuck a couple bath bombs in there and you can relax. Have a couple Chiantis with some strawberries inside with your missus in the bath, the roll clean bath bomb. All right. Nice and posh. Yeah, you can be posh. Yeah, you don't always need to be serious and clowns like us two on this show. All right. So I hope you enjoyed it. And I hope you got a bit of fun. Let's go, Sauce. Let's get to the card.
We hope it went left later in the night.
That's right. Over to you.
Doma. UFC 284. What a card it was. Unbelievable. And I'll talk it through a few fights. We'll talk it through the prelim cards, a few shout-outs here, obviously. Shout-out Joshua Kulabau with another win. He's 11-1. They got the submission in the second round, the featherweight. Look out for him, Australia, up and coming. Jamie Malaki gets the win over Francisco Prado, third round decision. Unfortunately, Shannon Ross gets knocked out in the first round. That was his first fight in the UFC. He'll be back with another fight. Tyson Pedro gets defeated by Modestas Bukakas. Unfortunately, Pedro actually contracted gastro the night before and was literally vomiting and shitting diarrhea and still fronted up to fight, dehydrated as fuck, and took it to 3 rounds. So credit to the man. Like, he didn't get knocked out. I mean, I couldn't imagine literally having gastro the night before having to go out there and fight 3 rounds. It would be pretty difficult. So unfortunately, he lost, but he'll be back. At least not a serious injury. And then over to the main card, we had Jimmy Crute, the Bendigo Bomber, against Alenzo Minefield. Was a draw, which was pretty fair, in my opinion. And I think they're going to eventually run that back. It was a really good fight. Jimmy looked rocked early, but he caught himself and was able to get to the grappling game, and that's where he was able to do a bit of dominance. I feel like, he needs to go a bit more to his grappling at times, and not stay on the feet. He doesn't. His coaches was telling him, use that head movement. Don't get, caught in the pocket. Don't get caught banging, because that's what he used to do. He used to just stay in the pocket and, like, he can throw hammers, but he'd get caught with a few, but he'd land his, and someone would get knocked out, right? And then unfortunately, he was the one on the few end of those where he was getting knocked out. So, he's got to change up his tactics. It was a good fight and good comeback for him. And, I'm not sure if you're aware, but Jimmy Crute had some mental issues. He faced a bit of depression and things like that, with just, some issues that he had in his personal life. He's overcome that. He's got back in the octagon. So credit to him to,
good on him.
Get past those things and get back in there and doing what he loves to do. Then you had the heavyweight Justin Tafa with the big left hand on Parker Porter, knocked him out, put him to sleep inside the first round. If you haven't seen that, it was literally Doma over, left, walk off. He was on the ground. He just pretty much just raised his hand, started doing a little jig in the middle of the octagon. Justin Tafa, look out for him. He's pretty new into the heavyweight division. He's got hammers. He could be the new crowd favorite, Bam Bam Tuivasa, up and comer. Under him, he's similar. I think he's. I'm not sure if they're the same, nationality, but maybe they got like similar tattoos, so maybe they are. Jack Della Mandolina, Doma.
Your boy. This is your boy.
Unfortunately, he did get the job done in round 1, but he didn't get it done by TKO, which I did give on the podcast last week and told you. He got it done by submission, which, this is something new. He's knocked out his first 3 opponents. Now he's got a submission inside the first round. His rise in the welterweight division couldn't be going any better, right? I believe he called out Paddy Bimlett after the fight as well. So, yeah, that would be an interesting fight. Jack Della Mandolina, ladies and gentlemen, I'm telling you, remember that name. This guy is good. He's good. Featherweight, Yair Rodriguez beat Josh Emmett, second round submission. That now sets up Yair Rodriguez against Alexander Volkanovski for the featherweight title, because he won the interim belt. There'll be an undisputed fight in the next fight. And then the main event, Islam Makhachev defeats our boy, Alexander the Great Volkanovski, 5th round decision. What a fight it was, Doma. And, everyone has the same opinion that, they feel like, Volk has affirmed himself as one of the greats of the sport. Going up that weight class, being undersized like that, taking this guy to 5 rounds, and arguably a lot of people out there believing that he won the fight.
Source, I'm just going to stop you there. The fact that Joe Rogan, Eddie Bravo, and whoever else was watching that fight companion, and they were like, he has beaten him. Joe Rogan and Eddie Bravo said the Volk has won this. Like, there's no chance that, like, they go, what a fight, it was fantastic. But they go, the Volk, he's done it. They're like, I can't believe it. He's actually going to do it. And then when the decision came out, they're just like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I seen the video.
Like the fuck?
It was close, Doma. It was close. I'll tell you what, the judge that scored at 46-49, you need your eyes checked, buddy. Don't know what fight you were watching. Rounds 2 and 4, I think rounds only in 2 of the rounds. I think it might have been 1 and 4 or 2 or 4. Islam got a bit of control on the ground. I feel like Volkanovski, he undersold himself. You go into that fight always thinking you can't get ragdolled to the ground. Can't let Islam take you to the ground. Can't let him take you to the ground and ragdoll you like he has his other opponents. But he got to the ground, or he got into clinches, or he got into grapples with him, and he was able to shrug him off, Doma. He was able to, rotate the position and then get in an advantageous position. And maybe he should have tried to get on mount and do some things on the ground with him a bit more than he did, because when he did do that in the 5th round, he asserted his dominance and was able to get some ground and pound in. So he might have been able to do that in other parts of the fight. Who knows? I feel like it was a very even fight. Do I think that Islam probably done enough to win? Yeah, I feel like that he did, but I feel like that the judges are scoring, control time on the ground. Like, I understand when he's got his back and things like that, and he's trying to do little submissions, but he's just got his back, and I feel like they sometimes score that stuff too heavy. And that's unfortunate, but it is what it is. Being in that position, that's the way of the sport. If someone's on your back and like that. But he, for a guy that was saying before the fight, you're too small, I'm gonna take you down. You're gonna stay down. I'm gonna submit you. Saying all that, the Volk was never in danger of getting submitted. He was never in danger at all of getting submitted at any point in the fight. At all. Like he got in a worse position against Brian Ortega in that guillotine choke than he ever did in any point in that fight against Islam. He defended everything very well. And everyone admits, he's still pound for pound number 1. So he never lost the top ranking. So although Islam won the fight, he still remained Volk remain number 1 pound for pound, and I think that's justice. And I think this, sets up later down the track. Obviously, the Volk's got to take care of business against Yair Rodriguez, and maybe something else. But we could be seeing Islam against Volk later on this year, towards the end of the year. You never know. There could be a rematch towards the end of this year, or maybe early next year. But at some point, we're going to get that fight again. I feel like it was too close of a fight. It was an unbelievable fight. Everyone has said it was unbelievable, and I say it again. I watched the fight twice. It was just a cracking fight. Can't speak highly enough of the quality of and it just had everything as well. It wasn't one of those boring fights. Yes, there was points when it was on the ground, but it was exciting on the ground. And bar the bear hug, which he held him there for 2 minutes and 3 minutes and didn't do much. I think it was in the 4th round, I believe. But it is what it is. Unfortunately, my boy the Volk doesn't get the job done. But mate, I tried to tell people how good this guy was. Like, I tried to explain, and people thought he would just get. The bookies gave him no chance, Doma. They had Islam at $1.30 favorite. They had the Volk at $4.20. Like, and that's the odds that you go like, oh, Islam should get this done in 3 rounds. You know what I mean? Like,
these guys must be listening to Cage when he talks about the Volk. But I don't think people realize just because he's Australian doesn't mean he can't be the best in the sport in his weight class. Like, it doesn't always have to be an American or like people just need to get that through their head. Like, he's actually unbelievable. And there's moments in that fight source, he's on the ground, he's actually just laughing. Just like, and even that, Islam had the back control. He was that tired, Source. Did you see him after the fight?
Yeah,
he needed 3 of his team to hold him up, mate. And the Volk's just standing there. He was gassed. If they had to fight another round, if they had to fight one more round, the Volk would have killed him. He almost beat him in the 5th when he got the uppercut and dropped him. I thought that was it. When he had the top control, like, I was like, that's it. It's over here. Like, he could beat him. And then obviously he got to a clinch and then, the round ended. But it's just typical Source. That shit always happens towards the end of the round. Just imagine that happens at the start of the round. Like, we're talking a whole different thing. And that's the same thing like with Pereira versus Adesanya. Adesanya rocked Pereira with fucking 5 seconds left in the round. If that was 2 minutes left in the round when he rocked him, Adesanya probably gets the job done. You know what I mean? That's just luck. You need a bit of luck. It's just the timing. These things happen. I get it. But a lot of those, like you're saying, Sauce, he got obviously points favored so heavily for this back control rubbish, like even on the cage. Mate, there was times on the cage he was that tired, like I was saying, he's bear hugging the Volk. Volk was like taking the piss. But then there was time, Source, where the Volk was like punching him, like getting clean hits on
over
him.
the shoulder.
And he was that tired, he's like trying to dodge it and he's just getting hammered. He's got the position. He's got the controlling position and the Volk was still hammering him. And he's just like, he didn't expect it. He's like, what the hell's happening? Like,
there's word on the street that he used an IV to rehydrate after.
I hope he did. I really hope he did. I really hope he did because the Volk's going to be champ if he did. I really hope he did.
I don't know if there's an investigation going on, but look, it was a great fight nonetheless, and I think they need to fight again. I'm proud of the Volk. He's obviously, you hear him spoke. He expected to go in there and win the fight. That he goes in there and expects to win the fight, which, you have to think that as a fighter regardless. But,
100%.
If you don't, you never give yourself a chance. But I think, he proved a lot of people wrong. And I'm just happy that, for me, someone who's been saying for so long, you need to watch this guy. Like, he's actually
100%.
He's very good. He's underrated. I mean, you look at him, you think, oh, he's too small. He's way too small. He's going to get smashed or whatever. It comes up against a taller opponent, a guy with more reach. But he gets in there close. I mean, he was getting in there and doing damage on Islam. I mean, did you see Islam's face at the end of the fight compared to the Volk?
But Source, we messaged after the fight and like you were shattered. You're like, oh, I couldn't get it done. The first thing I said to you in the message was like, because the whole talk around Islam and the hype was he's just running through the division and he's smashing everyone and he's the world champ and all this stuff. Mate, and the first thing I messaged you, and I love Islam, yeah? He comes from, obviously, that Khabib camp. I love him. Like, I reckon he's a great fighter, yeah? But all this hype and so much crap was put on the Volk, and obviously, I've taken notice because he's your boy, so I'll watch it. The first thing I messaged you was, that's actually a blight on Islam than it is anything on the Volk. A guy that isn't even in your weight class. He came up into your weight class and took you 5 rounds as the champ and almost beat you.
Fight of his career.
The hardest fight of his career, Source. And he's not even in your division, in your weight class. He came up. Like, that's like people listening to this. That is what Source is trying to tell you about this guy, Alexander the Great, mate. Like, he's a freak.
He didn't have to do that. And risk his record.
He could have just stayed and just dominated
keep dominating his division, like featherweight. Like,
he wants to challenge himself. I love that, man. That's like good inspiration for people. He's put himself out of the comfort zone, and like that confidence. And
he said after the fight, I've become a better fighter because I've put myself through this challenge of going up a weight class and fighting, arguably the best, fighting the best fighter in this division and taking him 5 rounds. And, I'm happy with that, but I expected to win the fight, which is just, I love to see. He still wasn't happy, which is, he's hungry, the Volk. And he said he wanted to have 4 fights this year. And that's another reason why I like the Volk. He stays active. He wants to fight. He wants to fight. He wants to get out there. And, and the reason why he's able to fight so often is because his mentality is like the best fighters are the ones that get hit the least. So by getting hit the least, you can actually fight more often, obviously, less damage and things that you've taken. So, look, there was a few times where I think the Volk got rocked like twice, pretty good in the fight, but he was able to, catch it, catch himself, and he got dropped to his knee once. He didn't really cop it was like to the knee, and then he quickly bounced back up. So Islam did catch him with a few shots, but I just feel like the exchanges on the feet, the Volk had him, and then even on the ground, I feel like if the Volk just at times, when they were going through some of those exchanges, instead of just trying to get up, and when he was able to roll with him and get into a position where he could potentially get half guard or get mound or something, he should have tried to do it. Because when he did do it in the last round, he was like pummeling shots into him, So I feel like he could have done that. And you never know, maybe put Islam on the defense at his own game, and never know. Like, I think the Volk's undersold himself. I feel like the Volk undersold himself on his grappling ability. And sometimes you feel like that when Islam's, submitted Oliveira, who's arguably one of the best, jiu-jitsu or grapplers that there is in the world, and you go, I submitted him so easily. Like, geez, he must be really good. But mate,
that's good. It was a good card. Unfortunate for the Volk, but he'll be back, like you said, Source, and we'll be cheering him on this podcast. And I know Double Coverage family and all the show.
Again in the next 3 months, mate. Within the next 3 months.
Oh, easy. All right, Source. Let's move on. Let's get straight into the NFL, and we'll try and wrap this up. We already have 45 minutes. We've got a bit to go here. Super Bowl. What can we say? Well, if you listened to the show last week, Super Bowl last week, the 2 tips from the 2 guys here were the Chiefs are winning this. Like, that's it. They did. It came down to the last drive. If you know the Messiah, mate, he is a big Chiefs fan, and he was over the moon. It's great to see him, someone so passionate, get to celebrate a team's win, which is absolutely awesome. He actually called me, and we actually had a chat about the game, and we spoke about Mahomes and how phenomenal this kid is as a well, he's not even a kid. This man, this leader, Source, how good he is. It's unreal. He is a gun. It's not just him. The system there, the culture there at Kansas City, the rest of the pieces around him. This is a team that got written off pre-season, Source. They said they weren't even going to win their division because they got top-up guys in Juju Smith-Schuster, and they lost Tyreek Hill, and they picked up, there's too many rookies and draft picks, and they're not going to be able to do it. And Source, you've got arguably one of the best tight ends to ever play football on your team, and you got the best quarterback in the league on your team. He's the best quarterback in the league. There's no ifs or buts about it. Don't tell me Aaron Rodgers this or Tom Brady that. Patrick Mahomes is the best player in the league, full stop, at the quarterback position. That is it. Don't want to hear anything else. This kid's 27. He's got 2 Super Bowls, 2 Super Bowl MVPs. I think he's won a regular season MVP, Source, as well.
Yep.
It wouldn't surprise me if he wins 5. But Source, I'm telling you, this kid, if he wins 4 or 5 Super Bowls, he's going to break every record known to man. And I'm sorry, I know Tom Brady's got 7, but volume doesn't necessarily mean you're the best to ever play the game. If Mahomes keeps going the way he's going, Source, we could actually be seeing the GOAT playing before our very eyes. We could actually see it. And people say, oh, that's premature. It's not premature. Don't tell us it's premature. Man, 4 weeks ago, the guy played 3/4 or a half of football on one leg. Source, he's hopping. He's making plays, and he's literally cannot function
Hopping on
below
one
his
foot.
waist.
Yeah,
It's unbelievable.
It was a great run by the Chiefs, and
Yeah.
I called it. I called it, Tom. I called it.
Yeah, well,
Right? I said, the Chiefs, our preseason NFL pod, I said the Chiefs would win it all. They did.
you picked it.
Picked it, and I'm happy. Made a nice little collect on the day. Can't complain about that.
Gamble responsibly.
Yeah, gamble responsibly. It was a good game. It was one of the best Super Bowls I've watched. It was a phenomenal game. Look, obviously the ending, the way it all ended, but that's just, that's smart game management to leave it down to a kick, field goal, expired.
Yeah,
Not sure.
I don't know people crapping on about that.
Sure, have you seen, the guy, Australian bloke, caught the ball?
Yeah.
And he got it, kept the ball, which is pretty cool. But there was that little ticky touch call at the end there, but you see that all the time in sports, and you can't let that deteriorate from what was an amazing game, and that one little moment didn't determine the game. And let's just not talk about the Jalen Hurts clear slip fumble of the ball gets returned for a pick six. That's a big moment in the game. I feel like Jalen Hurts' stock has probably risen. He's
good player, man.
Good player, and apparently he's got a shoulder injury, and probably he's going to need some sort of surgery or something on it, or some sort of treatment. And like he was throwing the ball pretty well. He made some big throws, and he made some amazing runs. So I feel like Philly has found their quarterback going forward into the future, and maybe for the next, foreseeable future, next 10 years going forward at quarterback. Let's hope 10 years.
It's really good.
Get injured,
but it's good. Like Philly's back up there, Source.
So they've got an amazing.
They won their Super Bowl.
They'll be back. They'll be back next season, and look, not much else I can say. 10 points down at halftime, came out. Shall I say?
Matty Cam says he still would have chosen Hurts for MVP. Fair enough.
Super Bowl MVP.
Yeah.
You can't give it to the losing side.
Yeah.
Or regular season MVP.
The game, the Source, yeah. I can talk about Mahomes all podcast if I really wanted to. I love the guy.
The link up between him and Kelsey was just phenomenal. And, one player that stepped it up in the second half was Juju Smith, where he barely had a touch in the first half, but came out in the second half. Juju Smith got was able to get some key catches. Him and Mahomes linked up nice. And I remember Matty, when we did the preseason pod, he tried to talk up Tyreek Hill being such a big loss. And I said, mate, they just grow on trees, these wide receivers. As long as you got Mahomes behind center, you'll be fine. They'll find someone to plug the hole. Juju did the job. He was able to just plug the hole. Although, some of these wide receivers, they are phenomenal. Mate, you just got to make sure Mahomes and Kelsey is fit. The rest, they can fill it, So, look, Chiefs, get it done. NFL season wraps up for another year. And obviously we'll be back next season, talking NFL when it comes back around. And we're looking forward to the AFL season. We're looking forward to the AFL season.
AFL and F1 coming back, Source, as well.
Coming back.
We lose the NFL. It drops off the list, but it'll be replaced with the AFL and the F1, which the F1 Source is 2 weeks away from the first race. 5th of March is Bahrain.
2 weeks. Jeez.
Hobby Hangout is race 1, Bahrain. Source, there you go. So it'll be the Monday morning.
Late night?
Be the Monday morning on the 6th here. So it's coming. It's coming. And I can talk a bit. We'll preview the F1 when it's coming closer. Some of the cars look good. So I'm excited. Mercedes have gone back with the black car as well for this season, and it looks mint. And Lewis Hamilton is my prediction to win the whole thing this year.
Jesus, cool. Made his prediction early.
Yep, he's going to win it. Yeah. It's it. It has to be done. We've got to get Messi and Hamilton winning in the same calendar year. It's just pissed me off to the greatest extent in sport. That is genuinely what it is at the moment. At least I have Mahomes there. You fucking got to win.
Petty.
I'm happy.
You're so petty.
I'm so petty. I hate these lemons so much, man. I hate these lemons. Anyway, I'm just kidding. He's a great driver, Lewis Hamilton. He's actually a gun. And Messi's 7th best player to ever play the game. So, all right. Let's move on.
It may not be the same after the tackle this morning. I've seen it. It was pretty bad.
Yeah, did you see it? Fuck, Pavard trying to break his legs. Lemon, he's an idiot. All right. We're done and dusted there. NFL's done. NBA, we're going to keep it short and sweet, and we're going to get into hobby talk sauce. All right?
Yep. Sounds good.
Lakers got to win today. Whoop-de-fucking do. Good on them. They just got to win a couple games, and they got to make a play in. No one cares. The Heat lost today, Sauce, and they lost to the Nets. All right? And I got to apologize to a person. I think you know who I'm going to apologize to. All right? Because 4 weeks ago on this show, when I was in the undisclosed location, I said that Mikal Bridges, all right, would not be able to carry Phoenix in the absence of Booker and Aiden. And he did his job. He stepped up Sauce. He was averaging around that 25 to 28 points per game. And he just became that solid player, ran through the motions. They won games when, that's great coaching and the team was gelling. Obviously, he gets traded to the Nets with Cam Johnson there. Jay Crowder gone as well. This is a discussion for a later date, Sauce, all right? We can have this discussion at a later date, all right? Because old 2020 Lamont of the Year, or 2021 Lamont of the Year, Goldie actually said that the Nets could be, the Suns could be a bit hurt by this trade. And I was thinking about the same thing when I heard this. And we have to wait and see how it pans out. But I'm going to apologize. Bridges dropped 45 today on my Heat. Yeah, it's a defensive team. He shot 68% from three, Sauce. 68% from downtown. 45, stepped it up big. It was his second game, I think, for the Nets. Cam Johnson's looking pretty good there too. So it's a discussion we can have down the track, whether Phoenix wins this trade or not. And that all comes down to them winning the title. They do want Carmelo Anthony. Apparently, CP3 said let's get him to come to the Suns. That by all means, I hope they do that, because the moment you get Carmelo on your team, you're not winning the title. Simple as that. So I'll go to the next team on the list, and Dallas will probably figure it out and win it if you get Carmelo. And I love Carmelo. It's just that guy just wasn't, unfortunately, it's not written in his script to win a title.
You've given him you've put the Barkley sticker on him, have you?
Yeah, it's unfortunate. Unless he comes back when he's 45 like Tracy McGrady and sits on the bench, does nothing, and the Spurs won him a title when they beat the Heat. A lot of people didn't know that. McGrady actually has a title because he was on the bench.
Does he really?
Yeah, for the Spurs when they beat the Heat. Look it up. Look it up. Yeah, he's got a title, T-Mac. So does Eddie Curry, mate. LeBron won Eddie Curry a title. And Greg Oden. I'm pretty sure Greg Oden's got a title. When we picked him up off the waiver. I think it was we lost in 2014. 2013, we picked up Greg Oden. Or maybe Greg Oden missed the window. Eddie Curry definitely won a title with the Heat.
T-Mac, wouldn't it be mate, I'm telling you, he hasn't won one.
Sauce, he's won one. I'm telling you, he has won one.
Career highlights and awards. Well, I'm on his Wikipedia page right now.
Fuck Wikipedia.
I've got a fact check, yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he won one. He was on the list, unless they waived him.
Oh no. It's not in here. Well, I don't know. You proved to me that it's correct.
2013. It was on the roster. 2013. Didn't they win the title that year? They beat us. 13-14. Maybe they waived him and he missed out. But he was on the roster.
I'm sure he doesn't. I'm sure he doesn't have one, man.
Oh, that's harsh. I thought that. Anyway, I like to be fact checked and wrong, but he was on the roster in 2013. I wasn't wrong there. They obviously waived him. He didn't get the opportunity. Oh well.
You've balls that up, mate.
No, it doesn't fucking matter. It doesn't bother me. I'll admit it. I was wrong, but I was right that he was on the Spurs.
He was on the Spurs.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I'll take it. He just didn't win the title. But Greg Oden. All right, let's see if I'm wrong on this one. I could be 2 from 2 here, guys, and you can just fucking stop listening to me when it comes to basketball.
We don't listen.
Could be wrong here. I could be wrong here as well. Source genuinely could be wrong here. I reckon they waived him as well. Oh, he was 13-14, not 12-13. So he lost. He played in, like, he was a part of that finals team and he lost.
Oh no.
Fuck. So I've gone
he tried to snag one.
All right, let's go Eddie Curry. If I could be 3 from 3 here wrong, and we're going to go into hobby talk, and I'm probably going to just shut my mouth. Eddie Curry, championships won 2012. Yes. Let's go. I got 1. I'm 1 out of 3 here. I'm convinced that T-Mac won 1.
No.
I'm convinced, bro.
I don't think so. I think you're wrong, mate.
I am wrong, but...
Oh, there you go. So
I am wrong, but... No, but I'm convinced. I'm trying to convince myself that I'm not. But I am.
Oh, so now you're delusional.
Here it is. All on almost winning a championship with the Spurs. Okay, so he was called up by the Spurs in April to fill their rotation for the playoffs. The Spurs would go to the finals that year before losing to the Heat in 7 games. For anyone else, it would have been a gut punch. For McGrady, he wouldn't have enjoyed the title parade anyway, he said. So, yeah, he was there the season they lost. I thought he was there the season that they won. So, season before, and then, yeah, Odom was there the season that they lost. Anyway, everyone makes mistakes. We're all human. Anyway, apologies to Mikal Bridges. All right, I was harsh on you.
That's where this was going. First place before you.
All right, and you've done already a lot more than another guy that plays in Philadelphia when I called him out and told him to shut me up. All right, and you know who that guy is. He has a beard. All right, we told him to prove us wrong, and he remember that source. We said, "Shut us up, James."
Yeah, Harden.
All right,
in the playoffs.
But Mikal, right, just like my T-Mac and my Greg Oden shit take, I'll cop it on the chin. I apologize.
I feel like they've done well out of this. You know, what they've got back in return for Kyrie and KD and the Nets. I feel like
Ben Simmons is getting traded, source, at the end of the season.
Yeah.
That's the word, like on the street. They're going to get rid of him. Like, why not?
I'd get rid of him after what I've seen of him. You know, why wouldn't you get rid of him?
Yeah, but source, like, that's a big contract. You can unload that. And you, with that young core,
they can build.
Pretty young.
Anyway,
we'll move on.
Plugging along. It's all about now how the lead up to the All-Star break. I think it's only a couple games out from the All-Star break. And then, you know, we're into that and the second half of the season. Well, the back third of the season. They're still, I think they've played already 50-something games or so.
Yeah. Anyway, that was a great segment by me on my part. Not my finest. Apologies for spreading misinformation and the Elon Musk Twitter fact checker.
You had the fact checker.
Yeah. Well, I can tell you one thing, Source. I'll be proud about that, Source, because now I've been fact checked and proven wrong, just like the President of the United States, Sleepy Joe. So at least we've got something in common. We're both lemons. Anyway, Hobby Talk is brought to you by Flatness Standard Grading. Thank you to the team at Platinum Standard Grading for all your Australian grading needs. Saucy. All right, I'm going to start with what we always get into on a podcast segment of Hobby Talk, and that is, of course, Topps Project 2022 cards. Once it come up, we've got your boy Martin Odegaard by 17th and Oak. We've got Sadio Mane by Dolly. We've got Rodrigo by Timber Smiths. We've got Curtis Jones by Whip. And we have Chavi by Sunil. There you go. Another quick one from me, Sauce, because this is all you today. It's dropped. Immaculate UFC. Dropped on the 15th of Feb. Just letting everyone know that it's out. We've covered this a couple times, this product. Just a quick run through on the cards. Here's an Adesanya. Apologies for people at home. Here's Shevchenko auto. Anderson Silva.
Yeah, watched a few box getting ripped. That looks all right. The cards look pretty good.
Holly Holm. Paddy the Batty. Mackenzie Dern. Kamaru Usman. Adrian Yanez. And then the PIS is over at the Knights Land. So feel free to check it out. Anyway, I'm throwing it straight to you, Saucy. There's a couple of things you wanted to talk about. And yeah, first one, well, it's combined. You can combine and do what you got to do, but over to you.
All right, Doma. As you know, always, we're going through and watching a few videos on YouTube, other, content creators around the hobby and seeing what they pick up. Obviously, one of our favorites is Dan the Car Man, because he picks up a few things that, he may find across somewhere or get sent into him or whatever. But he's flagged I believe it was a NFL impeccable product. And, it's supposed to have, all these things in the box, and they've ripped open the box. And I think there was only like one relic card in the box and just a bunch of, base cards and no auto, no, silver bar. Supposed to be one silver bar per box or something like that. And it's just funny. Like, this is a box that costs like, something like $1,500, Doma, or something like that. Here it is, $1,000 US for the box. It says product highlights, 5 or 6 autos per box, 2 or 3 base parallels per box, right? You've literally gotten, I think, 1 auto in the box. It says 5 or 6 autos per box. I think there's 8 cards or something in the box. So it's a $1,000 US product. This is, $1,500 Australian, and you have those QC issues. You got to remember, ladies and gentlemen, it just these boxes were once selling for like an impeccable box like that would be similar, before the whole hype of the hobby, and it went gangbusters in the last 2-3 years. That box would be a $200-$300 box, $300 box, and the workmanship and the processes, that are going into these boxes now that are now selling for 5 times that amount, $1,500 a box. They're not increasing their processes or their workmanship that's going into it. They're just still doing it like they're still producing it at a product that they're selling at $250 to $300 a box, which is pretty saddening. And we've told you time and time again that nothing will ever change. And I feel like a lot of people, there's people out there that are putting a lot of hope on Fanatics that they're going to fix this issue, right? I'm of the view it's, guys, don't get don't get your hopes up. Let's just see what they put forward. I feel like they'll just try to milk the cow more than Panini is. I don't know if they'll actually fix some of the the issues that we're having with Panini and the like right now. And the issues will remain because people keep buying the products. People keep buying into breaks. I seen a Spectrum hobby box, 30 spot break, $50 a spot, random spotter. I think there's 6 cards in the box, so only 6 people are guaranteed a card out of the 30 entries. So 24 people miss out on a card, and $1,500 for a Spectrum hobby. I mean, this was a product that used to sell for $300-400. It's not a $1,500 box. It just is not. This is the new Spectrum basketball hobby box. It just isn't that price, and it's why personally find it better value for me to collect by just buying singles, because buying a box and having that punt at that crack, I just couldn't imagine Doma to paying $400 a box, fine, $400, $500, maybe you splurge a little bit, but $1,500, man, that's a lot, that's a lot. I mean, for some people, that's like literally 3 weeks rent. Like, that's a lot of money.
That was the same with like Immaculate when it was like, was it 20K a box? Was it Immaculate? 20K before it got reduced to 14 and then it got reduced to 8. Like, Source, if you're into cards that much for 20,000, just imagine what you can buy.
Yeah.
Like in the hobby space.
It doesn't even make sense to me to buy
if you're not in the hobby space, Source, for 20 grand, you can buy a fucking car. Like, but if you genuinely put that aside, because this is a hobby talk, and if you're genuinely into the hobby, for $20,000, yeah, what you can put that money towards is fucking mind-boggling. You're out here trying to chase fucking LaMelos and stuff. You can get nice LeBrons and Kobe's with 20 grand, and you want LaMelos and freaking. I was going to say Ben Sherrill, but you can't even get his card. When you get to that realm, opening those boxes, Doma, and if you're buying those boxes outright, you've got the money to do it. Like, you've got the funds in the bank to just buy those boxes at those prices. I know. The issue I have is the lower punters who are buying into breaks of those boxes, a single box Immaculate break, a single box Flawless break. And although they might have the money, there might be some that aren't buying in there, don't really have the money, or, like, maybe shouldn't be doing this, but maybe they got a bit of a compulsive personality, and they want to have a crack, or it's a bit like it is gambling. It's like a lottery. It's like it is gambling, right? So they could be buying into this spot for $1,500 a spot, or $800 a spot, and you don't get a card. Like, it's just mental,
baffling. And then let alone imagine you got a box like we just talked about, that had, supposed to have 5 to 6 autos on average per box, and has 1 auto in the box. So not only do you buy into like these dud breaks that, the products are now watered down, they're getting less and less stars to sign. You got certain players refusing to sign. There's no Kobe autos in ongoing products. It used to be in every Panini product. That used to save a lot of products, having Kobe autos in there. Obviously, he's not in anything now. And then you got other guys, that up and coming guys that don't want to sign, and the ongoing issue. I feel like Doma. How they've got the nil situation with the rights
name,
over the
likeness.
College, name, image, likeness. With the college players, and you've got now college players literally making $500,000 a year just off their name, image, likeness in college, right? Like, imagine they make it to the pros, and then they're on these millions of dollar contracts. Like, you may get guys now only ever signing in their rookie year and never again after that, potentially. They're just like, well, I don't need the money that Panini can pay me. You know what I mean? Or thing. So that's why I'm wondering, is the new agreement that Fnatic signed, what does that entail? Does that entail to sort of enforce the players, since they're under the Players Association, that they sort of got to sign? And if they don't sign, there's some sort of penalty or something like that. They go
I don't
again,
think
they're
you'd be
breaking a
able to
breach of
penalise
contract.
them. I don't
No,
think you'd be
I
able
think
to
you would
penalise
probably
them,
only be able to breach of contract and financially penalise them. You know what I mean? Like, fine them. I think that's just about all you'd be able to do. I'm not saying, I think that's literally all they could potentially do. But yet again, then, like, do they want to do that? Because then they may burn that bridge that they never sign for Fanatics ever. They might change their mind at some point. I don't know. But I just feel like people are putting too much hope on Fnatic going forward. I feel like, they're not going to fix much. They may fix a few things, but they're not going to fix the things that people really want fixed. I feel like that's still going to be an issue.
That's going to be a process, though, that you have to go through in a transition into Fanatics taking over. Like,
well,
the price points. I'm telling you, like you said, it's Source. Like, everyone thinks it's going to be sunshines and rainbows, mate, when we switch over to Fanatics. But I guarantee you, those people that are saying this right now, I guarantee you, all right, if we're still doing this podcast in 2026 when the takeover comes, I guarantee you, you're going to be the first people to complain that the box prices cost too much. Guarantee you. And they're going to have to work backwards from there. I'm telling you. You're not getting your boxes for $100, $150.
Well,
Get
they're
that out of
cutting
your
product
brain.
lines as well, Doma. They're cutting product lines. So I'm not sure if you caught, but there's been no mega boxes coming out in Targets and Walmarts in the States. So, they're maybe only sticking to cellos or blasters, and they're not bringing mega boxes, which had different parallels and variants in it in certain products. What does that mean? Does that mean they're going to focus those areas that they were having to produce extra product on producing a breeder hobby product? We don't know. Obviously, they're producing less of area of a certain, or does that mean they just increased the amount of blaster boxes that they created? I think it's probably the latter. They're probably not creating megas and just increasing the amount of blasters and cellos and other retail. They have the retail boxes, and then they're just getting rid of that. I don't know. But nonetheless, I think, as always, and I'll always say this again, if you want to get value for money and you want to have more fun in collecting, like, obviously breaking is fun and we still break some stuff, but man, these products are getting less quality control than they ever had. More fuck ups in terms of like them not putting autos and the right amount of hits in boxes.
They won their freaking legal battle for the redemptions. So
they won their legal battle for the redemptions.
I don't know if you saw. I don't know if you saw
that
that guy that had the Luca auto and something else, another high-end player, and they're like, "Oh well, we can't give you the autos. We'll give you these guys as a replacement." And he's gone. I bought the redemptions. Like, I bought the redemptions like off eBay or from a group. He bought the redemption. Yeah, so he paid a lot of money just for the redemption card, so he could cash it in. And they're like, "Oh no, we can't fulfill that." Like, that's pathetic. Why have a redemption in your product to get the card when you're like, "Oh, we can't even fulfill it"? What's your excuse? "Oh, it's COVID. You can't sign." Shut the F up, man. Come on. Bro, it's an excuse now. I told you, when they started putting stickers and you paid for the products during COVID, it was fine because there's no other way. But the moment that COVID ended and you kept spending that much money on product for sticker autos, Panini went, "Oh, we fucking got them. We don't have to put as many on-card autos in products ever again because they're going to buy sticker dump crap now, like in our products. They'll buy it regardless." I'm telling you, it was all a business strategy, and they came out ahead of it post-COVID. If there was no COVID, they would have continued on their trajectory of how they printed product, yeah? All right? They would have. And I reckon they would have slowly dwindled away the on-card autos, having as many in a product as they usually did, or having full on-card auto sets. Like, they would have started putting stickers. But because COVID came in, like, they would have sat down in a board meeting and gone, "Do you reckon we try in the first quarter post-COVID, when we drop products, to put sticker autos on all the products, and we'll see if people buy it?" And they would have said, "Oh yeah, we've got to test it. All right, we'll get some market research and see what happens." And they released it, and everyone went out there and bought it, and they went, fuck, we can put whatever we want on a product, on a card, and people will buy it. That's it. Now you're in the predicament where they are now. You get less bang for your buck. They're produced even more than what they were pre-COVID, and you're suffering. That's it.
Yeah.
That is the bottom line. It was good business by Panini.
Yeah, they're not stupid.
Oh,
hey?
Great business, man.
As long as that's what I say. As long as people keep buying into breaks, as long as people keep buying boxes, nothing's going to change. We're not saying don't crack.
We're not saying
product.
Don't support Panini, don't do this, but we're just telling you, be wary on spending big dollars. Like for someone that wants to save up their money, you know, they've been in the hobby and they sell a lot of cards, you know, they haven't got the liquid cash. You know, liquid cash.
Maybe you save up. You go for my birthday this year. I'm going to buy.
I'm buying this.
You've got. You know, I mean, maybe you're a. You know, you're a young kid. I mean, you work at Coles or something, so you've got a bit of a job. You do, 12, 13 hours a week, with your school like I used to do. I used to work part-time while I was still at high school. Work, 13, 12, 13, 15 hours a week, make a bit of side cash, saved up my money, go for my birthday, I'm going to buy myself an impeccable box, $1,500, $1,600. I hit a redemption in the impeccable box and I can't even get the card. I can't even get the damn card. So I just wasted $1,500 of my hard-earned cash. I'm at the time probably only earning $400 a week, $400, $500. So that's, when you're a younger kid, that's a solid, 4 weeks of work straight down the drain. Yeah. The redemption thing is never, and I'm just glad I've never had to go through that process of hitting a redemption and having to have it fulfilled, because it would just irk me of just these flogs ripping me off, selling me something with a non-promised, one guaranteed auto, and then they give you a redemption for an auto and there's no actual auto in the box. Well, mate, that's not what I paid for. Paid for an auto in the box.
Fuck. Imagine spending $1,500. That's just ridiculous. And you
know how many good Volkanovski cars I could buy with?
Mate, can you imagine, Source? Can you imagine you spend $1,500? And no, I'm not knocking him. Yeah, I'm not knocking him. But like your hit was like a patch auto of Nick Claxton. $1,500, and that was your hit of the box. Like he's turned out to be a decent player, yeah. Do I think he's as good? No, but besides the point, I'm just saying that is your major hit in the box. You saved up all this. I'm telling you, if you saved up for your birthday and you bought that, that's the worst birthday present you've ever fucking received in your life. Straight up. Straight up. That's worse than your grandmother buying you socks every year for your birthday. That's how shit that product is. You used to be like, oh, Mom, like, she got me socks. Man, I'll tell you, there's more use in socks than the shit that you get out of a $1,500 box of cards if you're getting Nick Claxton as your main hit. All right? At least you got toilet. It's a fucking expensive box of toilet paper, $1,500, wiping your ass with the cards that are in there. Fuck. And I tell you what, the patches aren't even big enough, mate. If you hit a patch, they give you what do they call them now? Fucking tissue wipe patches. What the fuck are they called now? Not even a swatch anymore. It's a joke. The spotlight. I don't even know.
Spotlight patch, mate, where it's not associated with anything.
Fucking hell.
That's another thing. That I feel like.
We spoke about this a few weeks ago. Fuck, they don't care. I told you, they're manufacturing in America. So Dick's Sporting Goods have got the greatest contract of all time. If they're manufacturing here in Australia, those napkins, I know it's napkins, but I know it's napkins global. But those napkin patches or the tissue patches, all right. If they were here in Australia, that is straight out of Spotlight, straight out. They just went and got a big roll of fabric and they just cut it into little squares and they fucking stuck it in the card.
Yeah, pretty much.
Come on, man. Come on. Fuck. Anyway, Sauce. On that note, We're done. We're done and dusted.
Nah, before
Right.
we go, Doma, before we go.
Oh, no, you've got some cards. You
I
wanted
bought
to-
some
yeah, that's
cards.
right.
So
Yeah,
we've talked a lot of shit about, obviously,
All right.
boxes and things. And this is
People
why
think-
how I like to
People
collect
think
them.
we don't buy shit sauce.
I'll bring
They
myself
might think we.
a bit of a show and tell. When finally went to the PO box and picked up some cards. Picked this up. Robin Van Persie auto. Out of
RVP.
Prism Club Legends. There you go. Had to get it in the Arsenal kit. Couldn't get it in the.
I was going to say, you got it in the wrong kit.
Yeah. No, piss off. You know,
I
it was
still
a good
remember.
player anyway.
I still remember how pissed off you were when you left the club.
No, I was spewing. It was my favorite player.
I still
The
remember.
auto's probably a 9 because it goes off the sticker. But once again, you know, if he was actually signing the card, he wouldn't have to keep his auto so small, and he would, you know, it wouldn't go off the card. And that's on a product Prism that used to have on-card autos back in 2012 to 2013, Doma. But now these days, you know, obviously all Prism products are sticker dump rubbish. But nonetheless, picked this up pretty cheap. Happy with the price. Quite cheap, actually. Well under what the people were paying on eBay. So can't complain about that. That will go into the PC. I like Robin Van Persie. And obviously, you know, ladies and gentlemen, that I do collect this dude. Hang on, it's got a little piece of tape on the top. Oh, man. Well packaged. Matty Yuga. Bought this one off Matty Yuga off his sale. That he
Matt's
threw,
Card Shop, if you're not
Matt's
sure
Card
who
Shop.
that is.
Yeah, Matt's Card Shop. There it is. Another one of my boy with a napkin patch that has no association with the player. Zero association.
The Spotlight
It's white.
Special.
Spotlight Special. But who cares? I picked it
P.
up.
Will.
$30, Doma. $30 on card auto, right? $30. That's the type of guys I like to go over as rookies, not some of the prices that people are paying for some of these guys coming up right now. Unfortunately, it's just ludicrous, if you ask me. That's number to 149, ladies and gentlemen. That's Spectra. Like, Doma, just think about this. You bought a $1,500 Spectra box, and you hit
that.
You hit that, and it's worth $30.
You'd be celebrating.
And he was number 3 pick. Number three pick. But rookies drive the market. The boxes are that price because you can get a LaMelo Ball rookie in there, or you can get the other dude. What is he?
Anthony Edwards.
Green or Anthony Edwards. Right? By some fluke chance that you hit one of those two guys. But the third pick, no. His cards, $30.
Even at the peak of the market, it would have been $100.
Yeah, it wasn't that much. Yeah,
Or 120. So anyway, you see the point. So instead of spending $1,500, Saucy went and spent $30, and then he bought it. So he's got what he wanted.
That's a win. That's a win for me. Oh, I'm happy with it. So 2 purchases, ladies and gentlemen. We do buy cards. We do collect. We buy singles because we find it more fun. And obviously, make sure you head to our Instagram and check out the pin post, which is letting you know all the upcoming shows that are coming up. And obviously, we'll be at the Hobby Hangout in Melbourne. So make sure you get your tickets for that.
You can heckle us. Yell some questions out from the audience.
Yeah, go visit the Hobby Hangout Facebook page or Instagram page. Find the link there. If I had the link, I'll drop it in the comments, but I don't have it handy, so too bad. You'll have to just find it on their social media. All right, Doma, it's been another episode. Double Coverage, the #1 sports and trading cards podcast in Australia. Don't beat around the bush.
That's it.
And
just keep
and the world.
And the world. All right. Keep living, loving, and breathing sport. I've seen the prices global. Cam Thomas has gone through the roof, and it's just crazy. It's Double Coverage.
Wait, hang on.
Oh, no. Here we go.
One last rant before I cut you out, and then we go.
Yes.
I tried to have a guy during the week, right? With Cam Thomas, he had those big 40-point games, and I was like, I was telling people, look, remember what I was telling you? Cam Thomas is actually good. And his cards are pretty cheap. Like, he's a good rookie to collect because I think he's a good player, right? I had a guy during the week who put a post out for a wanting to buy Cameron Thomas. And I put a comment in. I said, bro, if I was you, I would just wait till off season. You're probably going to be paying the most you're going to pay for Cam Thomas cards right now. If you just wait till off season when nets are irrelevant and people have forgotten about him, his cards will be a lot cheaper. And he goes, oh, that's a good point. Then I had some guy rebut my comment and say, comment back. And he said, how do you know that? He could have 10, 40-point games by the end of the season, and his card, you may never be able to get his cards at the price that they're selling for right now. And I just said, I can guarantee you that he will not have 10, 40-point games by the end of the season. And I can guarantee you that his cards will be cheaper than what they're selling for right now. You had cards that were literally like $30 selling for $150. Cards that were $100 selling for $700. So it's a word of warning when a player goes off like that. And don't get me wrong, he's had 3 40-point games in a row, Doma, which, he's now with the names and the likes of LeBron James. As LeBron James, there were some big names up there that I was thinking that are under the age of 21 and under that had 3 40-point games consecutively. I think Michael Jordan was one at that age. So, yeah, he's up there with some names. So just note it, one to look out for, but don't buy his cards right now. Hold off and wait till the off season. And don't be like that Lemon on Facebook that tried to tell me that his cards won't be cheaper in the off season. That's just he's either hasn't been around cards for very long, or he's a Lemon. So
on that note,
yep.
Keep living, loving, and breathing sport. I'm Dom with the Great Man Sauce. And peace.
Peace, ladies and gents.
Thank you for tuning in. Please don't forget to leave a review on the Apple Podcasting app. Also, follow us on socials, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and TikTok. Talking all sports, double coverage.